When it comes to the embroidery decoration process, it's a good idea to understand where the costs derive from when creating a finished design. Embroidery is a lot like screen printing, in which the materials used to create the finished product are actually very minimal, but the setup is actually much higher, or in this case, the machine itself is very expensive and only a few products can be sewn at a time. When it comes to embroidery, again, the material costs are very, very small, but the amount of time it takes to actually sew a product takes a long amount of time and is dictated by the total number of stitches within a design. Most small designs that would be either sewn onto a hat or a left chest typically take around 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the amount of stitches and complexity of the design. If you were to sew a bag or even across the back of a jacket, you're actually looking at more than an hour and a half of time to sew that one product. Again, there might only be $1 worth of materials, but because the machine is held up in sewing, that's where a lot of the costs are actually derived from. Now, before anything can actually be sewn, the artwork must first be digitized in order to be able to be sewn. Now, digitizing revolves around taking a high-quality digital piece of artwork and then converting it into a sewable file. Essentially, the embroidery machine needs to be told where and how many stitches to lay down to create a finished design. You must use a professional digitizer who specializes in converting artwork from a high-quality digital artwork to a digitized design that the machine will sew and it'll look great. If you don't get a high-quality digitized design, it does not matter how nice your embroidery machine is, it won't sew as well as it can. Also, remember that when it comes to digitizing, every design must be digitized for the type of product and the actual size. If you're going to be sewing a design onto a hat and then on the left chest and it's the same design, you actually need to have them digitized differently, because a polo or a jacket is a flat object that sews much differently than a hat, in which the product must be rotated in order to sew it properly. Also, when it comes to the artwork, it cannot be resized. So if you wanted to, for instance, do a left chest and then do a bag with the same design, you can't take that artwork and actually stretch it and expect it to sew properly like when it comes to printing. It must be redigitized for each type of size that it's going to be sewn on. And again, the type of material. A loose knit polo is going to sew different than a tight weave bag. So whenever you get artwork digitized, the digitizer is going to ask these things, and that's going to dictate the way that the artwork is digitized. The good news is that digitizing has become much easier to get done of late. It used to cost a good $75 to $100+ for certain designs to be digitized. Now you can get a design digitized from anywhere from $15 to $25, whether it's simple or complex, and get it done fairly quickly. Outside of digitizing, really the only material costs you're going to have when it comes to embroidery are backing and thread. The thread is what is used to actually sew the design. It's what you see on the outside part of the product. Within a left chest essential design here, for instance, the two logos I'm wearing, I'm probably not wearing 10 cents of actual thread. Their thread is very, very cheap. And then the backing, which is actually the interior part that is used to stabilize the thread, is also very, very cheap. So the two logos that I'm wearing probably have less than 50 cents in total material cost for everything. And because they were actually simple text, they actually didn't even have to be digitized, so we had no digitizing cost. The main costs that are actually associated with this embroidery is just the fact that it took 15 minutes to sew each logo, and the embroidery machine can only sew so much in a day, so whenever you're allotting what your jobs are doing, you have to be very strategic. If you have any questions about where costs derive when it comes to embroidery, please do not hesitate contacting us. Thank you.